This is grip frame removal of the LV2. First thing we need to do before we can remove the grip frame is to remove all the grips. Foregrip and the rear grips. Pull the foregrip off first, grab hold, body in the foregrip, pull down, remove the foregrip and place that to one side. Then we need to remove the rear grips. Two latches here, one on either side. Slide those into the forward position, both sides. Lift up from the bottom. Gently prise them off the bottom of the clip onto the bottom section of the grips down here. Unhook from the top. See the push buttons are built into there and the display screen. Place that to one side. Then want to take the front section of the grips off. You need to pull little tabs out from inside the body. Remove those. That allows us access to the frame. Wipe off any grease from here. Just normally put a bit of grease inside the foregrip just to help it slide on and off. Once we remove the grips, first thing we need to do, or the second thing we need to do, is to unplug the eyes, which are the black and white wires here, and the solenoid. We unplug those from the circuit board. Maybe worth getting a small pick or tool just to lift the wires out of the way. And work out which ones we need to unplug. So here's the red and black one that goes up to the solenoid here. There's also a red and black that goes to the micro switch. We can leave that attached. Red and black one that goes to the solenoid. Just carefully lift that out the circuit board. Same for the set of 4 black and white ones here. Just hold the circuit board down, that wiggle, and those wires will come out there. So that's the eye wires and the solenoid wires pulled out of the way there. Then we're going to remove the 2 frame screws. Just undo the front and rear screws there. Those both out and gently separate body and the frame. That is frame removed. Allows you access to the magnet carrier and the trigger spring. You have gasket inside here. See, that's the transfer for the air into the reg body at the front. So now we're going to put the frame back on. First thing we need to do is again make sure these wires are pulled to the left hand side of the body. I'm going to carefully put the frame against the body. What's very important at this point is we're not trapping any of the eye wires. All the eye wires do come through to this side, so you'll see the eye wires go here underneath the hose to solenoid. So we have all 4 of the eye wires coming through on the left hand side of the body, solenoid wires to the left hand side of the body too. Second thing we need to be careful of is that we don't pinch or trap the hose between the bearing carrier and the body. So as we put frame on, we just want to be careful we don't again pinch any of the wires there, and we need to make sure that the hose goes into the gap down the side of the bearing carrier. You can tell when everything's together correctly because it'll go metal to metal very clearly. There'll be no gaps anywhere along the interface. You won't have to squeeze anything together to get the frame to meet the body. So everything should be nice and metal on metal touching body to frame. So hold those 2 pieces in place while you put back the screws. Don't over tighten them at this point, just put them back into place. do a final check that everything is aligned. So it's still nice metal to metal contact, and then we can tighten those up. Don't need to over tighten these. The screws are patched so they won't vibrate loose. Don't need to force anything together. Okay, and now go ahead, plug the eye wires back in, push those down into place. The same for the solenoid wires, plug that back in to the MME board, and then we want to carefully position all the wires back into the position they were when we took the grips off, so that nothing gets trapped inside the grips, between the grips and the frame. We put the front section of the grips back on, locating the tabs inside the front of the frame here and here. Make sure everything is clipped over and flush at the bottom too. Then put the rear section on. There's two little prongs on the back of the grip section here. They need to go into two small pockets inside the frame, so we hook those in first and then clip on all the way down. Make sure everything's clipped over, slide the latch in. This side too, push everything over, make sure it's all clipped down and slide the latch back. Then put the foregrip back on. And that's removing and reattaching the frame on an LV2.